All right, you guys, so to start this cut off, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna section off the hair, separating the top from the bottom. Now I'm gonna part the hair at the parietal ridge. That is the area where the top meets the sides, right? That corner area of the top of your head. I'm gonna make sure I make a neat part there all around the hair. A lot of times you might not need to damp the hair with water, but in his case I wanted it to just damp it a little bit so everything could fall down and lay in place. So right here, I'm gonna put my duck clips in, but what I should have did was just get a hair tie and just kind of, tie everything together. But since I was kind of working, trying to make that part extra crispy around, the parietal ridge, but I was trying to set it in the part, so it's kind of hard to lift up the hair and set a good part in at the same time. So it's better to just have a tie if your client has this long of hair. Just tie it up and then kind of make a part as you go when it's all tied up. Alright, so next step is I'm going to clipper over comb a lot of the bulk off on the sides. Now I'm going to use my comb, set it in a 45-degree angle, and I'm just going to go upward, taking off all the bulk on the bottom. Now the reason why I'm setting it at a 45-degree angle is because I still want some of that bulk up top. I don't want to get rid of it completely, so I'm just kind of trying to make it neat as possible, as if I'm setting in a bald line. You know how that bald line curve goes around the occipital bone? I'm still trying to keep that design, or that shape, if you will, around the full head. So now I'm gonna take my Andis cordless masters, putting on the one guard with the lever open. I'm taking off more bulk. Now I know I was telling you I was taking off bulk with the clipper over comb, but this is really just setting in that foundation of sort of like a guideline, but more of taking off bulk, getting that shape really embedded in there. So right now I'm feeding that hair into the teeth of the blade with my comb. This makes it like, I don't know, it allows me to know where the hair is stopping at. I could just feed it into the teeth of the blade, knowing that all of the hair is going in there, and it's going to cut off and it's going to stop right there at the top where I have my comb. So next I'm gonna set in my bald line using my Babyliss Effect skeleton trimmers, and I'm setting it in going upward instead of making a harsh guideline and setting it in as if I'm lining them up. Because what happens is, depending on the texture, if you set in going straight in, like if you're lining someone up, it could be real difficult for you to take out that bottom line. So in certain textures, I'll just judge it by, you know, how soft the skin is and how, you know, how thick the hair is. If the hair is a lot thicker, chances are I'm gonna go up and set my guideline like I'm doing now. But if the hair is thinner, I feel like thinner hair, it's a lot easier to take out bottom lines. With thicker hair, it's gonna be a lot more of a challenge. So I'm gonna just stop right here. I don't wanna follow this guideline all the way through. I'm gonna go directly to the right side and just set in the guideline and finish it, you know, that way. That way you make it a lot more easier to match the same kind of, you know, curve shape, you know, to the head. So using my Babyliss gold shavers, I'm gonna make the bottom half razor bald. I'm gonna keep about a, you know, 1/4 inch from the top. I'm not gonna go all the way up, because if you go all the way up, it's gonna make it ridiculously hard to take out that bottom line. So make sure you leave about a 1/4 inch of space when you set in your bald line. Now with the lever open, I'm going up about 1 inch, and I'm gonna make sure I keep that consistent all the way through, making sure I go over the guideline multiple times to get that hair at that lever open length. So sometimes, you know, going against the grain is not just that up and down motion. Sometimes you're gonna have to use, you know, that side motion and go sideways, or, you know, the other way, just to get that hair down to that length. Because you guys got to remember, not all hair grows in the same direction. Some hair, you know, may grow a little, you know, slanted than others. You know what I mean? So make sure that you're just not going with that up and down motion. Like, really experiment with hitting different angles. So with the one guard open, I'm gonna use that same technique with the comb, feeding that hair through the teeth of the blade, going up about 1/2 inch, and I'm scooping out as I go up, because I still want to keep some of that bulk at the top. Because when it comes to that area at the top, you really need that for the top hairs to rest on. Right now, I'm gonna clip her over comb and I'm gonna build that shape, making sure that everything flows into that top. I'm gonna go, diagonal. I'm gonna make sure I go up and down to blend that one into that bulk on the top. So just watch the technique. So putting back on that one guard, I am gonna clean up that area between the one and that bulk on top just to make it flow. I would go in with a 2 guard, but I feel like I could flick and blend into that top area real nicely. Now, still with the 1 guard closing the lever, I'm gonna soften up that middle line as much as possible in a flick out motion. So in some cases, it may seem like the 1 guard close is actually taking out that middle line, but don't be so easily moved. You know what I mean? Like, this is not gonna take out the line. This is just kind of softening it up so you could come behind it with the next guard. Now, because you softened it up with the 1 guard closed, when you put on your 0 guard with the lever closed in a flick out motion and you flick out that middle line, it's going to be a lot more easier for you to just, attack those little bulk areas. You want to use the corners as much as possible. That's what I do when I cut. I don't care how long it takes. I can't say that. I care how long the haircut takes, but you know what I mean? I like working in sections and completing those sections and then moving on. So I like working in small little increments. That's why I say use your corners as much as possible, because you're not really rushing the cut by just using the corners. You're making sure that each section is getting blended. So in the same way that you softened up that middle line with the one guard closed, I'm doing basically the same thing with that bottom line with the lever halfway. I'm just softening it up. That way I could come behind it with the next step and just take it out with ease. Now with the lever closed in a flick out motion, flick out that bottom line. See how I started with my corners? I like working in sections. I am gonna adjust the lever as I go up, and you should as well. Don't just rely on the lever being fully closed and that's it. You know what I mean? As you go up, adjust your lever. The flick out motion step is probably the longest step throughout your blend. You know what I mean? Setting in a guideline is one thing. It's simple, but the flick out motion, taking out those lines, that's a whole nother ballpark. I mean, this process usually takes the longest because you're really trying to get detailed with what you're doing. Alright, so right now I'm just going to take out my duck clips and I'm going to saturate my client's hair with water on top. So my client wanted a crop top. He didn't tell me the exact length that he wanted. So I just, basically just took off half of what he has right now on top. Starting from the front, working my way up, clipping off about half, taking an extra piece of that and using that piece as a traveling guideline so I could judge how much I could cut off in the back. Honestly, when it comes to shear work, I'm good at the basics, but like knowing the full detail on how to use my shears, I'm still working on that. I have no problem saying that I am not nowhere near the best barber out there. I'm still learning my craft as I go. And shear work is something that I still need to work on. I still want to take classes and try to improve my craft as much as possible. But I definitely know the basics on to just give a basic trim and how to do the basics when it comes to crop tops and different styles. So right here, I'm gonna section off the bangs. Basically, in the front of his head, I'm gonna do a triangle part, section off the bangs and pushing everything else to the side. I'm gonna clip the bangs so the bangs stay out of the way, and I'm gonna start taking off some hair on the sides, basically to eliminate all of that overhang. So right here, I'm using my thinning shears to basically add texture to the top. I'm gonna be moving the thinning shears and cutting his hair side to side at a diagonal angle, both on the left and right side. This just adds texture for when you put in your texture powder and you mess it up, it has that crop top look. So now I'm gonna blow dry and style in the direction that my client wants his hair in. So right now I'm putting some texturizing powder in my client's hair. This just adds volume to the hair. I started getting into this because I started not to like that wet look, you know what I mean, when I do my crop top. So this gives it that natural kind of dry look. You can spray it with hairspray and it'll immediately take out all of that white residue. Listen, let me tell you why they call me 360. When they sit in my chair, I spin them in the full 360, and they come out looking like bang. You too, this is the cut. And if you like it, make sure you give it a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, please hit that subscribe button. Also, Hustle Dreams Production is on the remix to this 360 beat, man. Make sure you guys follow him. His link will be in the description below. Also, if you want to know where you can find any tools that you see in this video, links will be in the description below. Otherwise, you guys can follow me on Instagram and Snapchat. My Snapchat is Jeezy360 and my Instagram is 360Jeezy. But it's your boy 360Jeezy, and I'm out of here. Cheers!